Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Bruce Smith, along with Ken Graber at the Daviess County Museum. Today is August 25, and Ken and I are going to try to endeavor to do another interview about the museum's online collection site. The address is shown here on the screen, daviesscounty.pastperfectonline.com. For those folks who have not been introduced to our online collection, this is the site where volunteers upload cataloged artifacts from the museum's collection, photographs, records, documents, archives, and they are available online at daviesscounty.pastperfectonline.com. If you haven't done so already, Ken and I have done a couple of other videos, interviews about the online site. Those two earlier interviews and videos are available on the museum's Facebook site. So if you haven't had a chance to look at those two earlier interviews and videos, you might want to do so at your convenience. Today, what we're going to try to focus on is a unique collection here at the museum, and that is the Stella Bogner collection. What you're looking at here, of course, is our landing page for daviesscounty.pastperfectonline.com. So when you log in to the museum's online site, this is the landing page that you'll find. And we've modified this landing page slightly in the last few weeks, freshened it a bit, and most importantly, we featured the Stella Bogner collection that you can see here in the middle of the page. Stella Bogner was a very unique and special individual. She was born in 1875 here in Washington, Indiana. She was a teacher for many, many years in the Washington school system. But she was also a remarkable genealogy researcher. And the museum is fortunate to have in its collection a great deal of the impressive collection of genealogy data that Stella Bogner put together during the course of her life. So we're going to focus on her collection today. We're going to click on this left image of Stella and show you some more of her biographical information. And again, for those of you who are not familiar with our site, sometimes we're able to enter a significant amount of data for a particular person. For Ms. Bogner, we do have a lot of data about her. She was born in 1875 here in Washington, Indiana. She passed away in 1961. She was married twice, first time to Jack McCafferty. They were married in 1901. He passed away in 1907, and they had one child, Martha McCafferty. And then she later married Roy Bogner, and he passed away in 1954. As you can see here, under occupation, we've emphasized Ms. Bogner, not only her teaching career, but her remarkable genealogy collection that she compiled during the course of her life. And what we're going to focus on today is that collection here at the museum, which is available online and also can be viewed in the museum's research room by appointment. She, during the course of her life, from 1903 to 1961, Ms. Bogner compiled 60 separate scrapbooks of newspaper articles about people and events in Daviess County. And she also had several other notebooks where she went to the Daviess County Courthouse, hand-copied hundreds of pages of marriage and death records from the Daviess County Courthouse about literally hundreds of people and hundreds of families here in Daviess County. We believe that many of these records that she copied from the old courthouse were probably destroyed in the 1927 courthouse fire that gutted that building and probably destroyed most of the documents contained therein. So therefore, the copies that she made of these records are incredibly important for genealogy and family research, because the original documents may no longer exist. So to begin our review of this remarkable collection that we're going to touch upon today, let's go back. Remember, Pastperfect is the online collection is divided into 4 parts: archives, photos, libraries, and objects. And those are indicated on the toolbar above. All the documents in her collection that we're going to focus on and feature today would all be under archives, which are pieces of paper or documents. So let's click that on, and we'll again review how you can find names or collections that you're interested in on our online site. So we've clicked on archives, and so what's come up is currently we have 5,186 items that are cataloged under archives in the online collection. So how do we find Stella's collection? Remember, what you do is you use the search box, and we'll type in Stella Bogner collection. And remember, we talked about this earlier. When you use more than one word in the search box, when you use a phrase or more than one word, it's essential that you put that phrase of words, you put quotation marks around it. Otherwise, the computer, when it does its search, if you don't use the quotation marks, it will look for each individual word across the collection. But if you use the quotation marks, it will only look for that phrase. So when we click this on, the computer is going to go through archives, because we've typed this in the archive section. It will look through the archive section for that phrase. So let's go ahead and click that on and see what comes up. So what we have here is 76 items in the online museum collection that have been designated part of the Stella Bogner collection. And I'd like to scroll down here and give you an example of one item. And you'll notice there are several scrapbooks that are listed here on these items as part of her collection. For instance, the first one here, scrapbook number 10, and then scrapbook number 12, and scrapbook number 13. Those are each separate scrapbook that Ms. Bogner compiled through all these years. And what I'm going to do is scroll through until we get to scrapbook number 9. And again, there's an enormous amount of information in Stella's remarkable collection. We continue to hit the next box at the bottom of the page, and we get to the next page. And here we find scrapbook number 9. And we're just arbitrarily picking this book out of all of these scrapbooks that Ms. Bogner put together. We'll click that on, and there you have the catalog entry for this particular scrapbook. So let's go down and take a look at the description. And scrapbook number 9 of her collection of newspaper clippings. And these clippings in this scrapbook were cut out of newspapers by Ms. Bogner and taped into this scrapbook from 1945 to 1946. And what is remarkable about this scrapbook is that not only did she spend all this time, and you can see it on the left-hand side, the images of these various pages, but she then, after she completed each scrapbook, went back and made an index of all of the names and events that are in that particular scrapbook. So you here under the people field, you'll see this long list of names that have been entered. These are the names that were referenced in scrapbook number 9 of the Stella Bogner collection. So for instance, let's click on the first image, and that's the outside cover of Ms. Bogner's scrapbook. And again, you don't get a sense of the size of the dimensions here, but this is what I would call one of those old-fashioned, big, it's probably, I don't know, maybe 18 inches by 10 inches, one of those old-fashioned large scrapbooks that you used to get at the dime store. And on the inside cover, you can see this remarkable index that Ms. Bogner put together for each of these scrapbooks, where she indexed alphabetically the names and events of people that are referenced in the clippings that are included in this particular scrapbook. Now, the bad news about the Stella Bogner scrapbooks, all of these, they were very inexpensive paper in these scrapbooks. So again, this particular scrapbook was compiled in 1945, 1946, which is over 70 years ago. These scrapbooks, these 60 scrapbooks of newspaper clippings, as Ms. Bogner put together through the course of her life, have deteriorated badly. In fact, they're so bad that they are considered restricted. We do not allow them to be viewed or handled by the public, because if you pick them up or open the pages, the pages literally start to crumble. So that's the reason why we spent so much time digitizing and scanning each of these pages. So what we've done is, in addition to listing the names of all the people that are in this one book and in each of the books, at the end of each scrapbook, and let's scroll all the way down, we have put together a typed list of the names of the people that are referenced in each scrapbook. So the index that is at the end of the images for scrapbook number 9 lists the names of the people that are referenced in this particular scrapbook. So let's show you how this works, and I'm going to just use an example of one gentleman. I'm going to arbitrarily pick a name here, and we're going to pick on Homer Myers. And again, I want to pay tribute to one of our interns that we had work for us a couple of years ago. She was a student at Bar Reeve High School, Nicole Knepp. A couple of years ago, she spent the entire school year with us, came in an hour and a half, 5 days a week, and she meticulously went through all of these 60 scrapbooks and manually entered all of these names that you see listed. So we do have all the names listed in each of the 60 scrapbooks. But let's show you, and thanks to Nicole's hard work as an intern. But let's focus here on Mr. Myers, Homer Myers, and you click that on, and that's his name. Well, how do you find Mr. Myers in all of and literally there's probably 100 or 150 pages. Well, let's focus on Mr. Myers, and we'll go back to the index at the end. Again, this is a typed index. Someone else has done. This is someone else at the museum has typed these names from Stella's handwritten list. And let's scroll over to the M's. And you can see down here, about halfway down, there's Homer Myers. Myers, comma, Homer. And you look over here, and he's listed, his clippings are on page 37 and 38 of scrapbook number 9. So you exit out of that index, and you're going to have to find pages 35 and 36. Now here's where it gets difficult. Now, let me show you how Stella numbered her pages. She would number her pages either in the upper right-hand corner or the upper left-hand corner, depending upon whether the page was to the right or to the left of the scrapbook. Now, we just got lucky here. We're on page 33, so we'll scroll over to page 35 and 36. I'm sorry, it was 37 and 38. And so here we are on page 37. And here we see Mr. Myers, Homer Myers, his clippings that were saved by Ms. Bogner. And unfortunately, Mr. Homer Myers was killed in a tragic automobile accident, apparently on October 23, 1945. An automobile accident occurred at the intersection of Highways 50 and 57, and he was killed. And so this is an example. If you're looking for a particular individual, a family member, a relative, somebody that you're interested in doing research, you may be able to find some very unique and clippings or newspaper articles about that particular person. Stella was very good about collecting obituaries, tragic accidents, and other events that occurred to Daviess County families and individuals. So again, Mr. Myers is referenced on pages 37 to 38 of scrapbook number 9 of the Stella Bogner collection. So again, to review, if you're looking for a particular individual in the Stella Bogner collection, well, how would you find them? So again, we have an example of scrapbook number 9 where Mr. Homer Myers is referenced. Well, how do we know whether or not Mr. Myers, or the person you're looking for, is perhaps referenced in some of the other scrapbooks? Well, again, let's review how we find people in Pastperfect Online. We talked about this a little bit on the 2 other interviews. And the way to find people is you use the search tool under Search by Term. And it's again up here on the top toolbar of each page, and you click on Search by Term, and you can go on any page and open this up, and you'll see you'll have what's called a people section. And this is an alphabetized list of over 49,000 names we have entered into the Pastperfect online system here at the museum. So let's just use Mr. Myers, Homer Myers, as an example. So again, the scenario is you're looking for information about Homer Myers. How do you find him in the Stella Bogner collection? You go to Search by Term in Pastperfect Online, go to the People section, and click on the M. And you're going to come up with a very, very long list of names under M. And you have to just scroll down. Don't look too closely because you might get nauseated as this thing scrolls down the page. And we're scrolling down the M's looking for the Myers. We're in the Myers section now. And there's Homer. And again, they're entered last name first, Myers, comma, Homer. So again, the scenario is, we're using Homer Myers as an example. You're looking for a reference to Homer Myers in the Stella Bogner collection. So you go to Search by Term under People, you find Mr. Myers, and you click him on. And then what that's going to do is it's going to locate throughout the entire collection, over 12,000 items, where is Mr. Homer Myers referenced. And we have 3 sites to Mr. Myers. We have a photograph. We have a Reeve Township Teacher Institute records, and there it is. We have scrapbook number 9. Again, we started out with scrapbook number 9 and found Mr. Myers. So this is how you find people in the Stella Bogner collection. If you're looking for a particular person, you look in their name, again, through the Search by Term search engine, under People, click on the initial of their last name, find them, click on their name, and if you see a reference to a scrapbook number under the Stella Bogner collection, you can click that on and then go to the index of that particular scrapbook and then find the clippings that talk about that particular person. And you may well find more than one Stella Bogner collection reference to a particular person. Ken's giving me the high sign that our interview's gone a little long here, so we're going to take a pause at this point and come back later. And in our second part about Stella's collection, we'll emphasize and feature a different part. Rather than scrapbooks, we'll talk about her notebooks and her records about marriage and death records from the Daviess County Courthouse. Thank you.